Andre to Manchester United, one of the most sought-out midfielders in football right now. The Fluminense midfielder has been absolutely fantastic for them this season. Liverpool, Fulham, and a lot of other big clubs have been linked to signing the guy in January, and Manchester United are the most recent team linked with him. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about this player, why he would be one of the best bits of business Manchester United have done in years, why he would be a brilliant signing that could boost Ten Hag's midfield, kind of similar to De Jong in a weird way, and we know how much Ten Hag wanted De Jong. So we'll dive into the transfer news, what was said, then we're going to dive into why Andre would be so good, and then we're going to dive into the chances of this deal happening. So please do hit that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. So this guy's been heavily linked to Liverpool all of January, and we do need to watch out for that. But it was said by Jack Talbot today that Manchester United have made an approach for the Fluminense midfielder Andre. The Brazilian is set to move to Europe in January with a price tag of 30 to 40 million euros. So £30 million could be affordable in the January budget, and reportedly United have made an approach for Andre, and Jack Talbot is a decent source. My only fear now is, are they linking Man United to the player to maybe get Liverpool to hurry up with this, because there was a rumour that Liverpool had pulled out the race and they might use United to motivate Liverpool to get him. That's one thing to keep an eye on. But we're going to talk about the guy. So he's recently turned 22 and he's very well known in Brazil, obviously getting capped by Brazil. He's sort of seen as the next big midfielder to come out of Brazil. We're going to probably replace Casemiro in the international team. He has been compared a little bit to Bruno Guimaraes. I think that's because Bruno Guimaraes is Brazilian, but they are a somewhat similar profile of player as well. But he's a deep-lying playmaker who normally plays on the left-hand side of a 4-2-3-1 pivot. However, you can argue that because no one really, it's kind of hard to explain how Fluminense sort of line up and what his role is. Some people say it's deeper, some people say it's more forward, but for the most part, from what I've seen, it's more of the type of guy he would probably be not a lone six. I don't think he's an out-and-out six that could hold on his own, so I think out possession he has some flaws, but he's the type of guy, if you put him in a good pivot with Meno or Palacios or Anana, it could work very well as well. So he's sort of described as the modern DM, very technically elite, very good on the ball. He is the perfect modern midfielder in football, and at 22 years of age, he's already pretty experienced, made over 100 appearances, and it looks like he needs to move on from Fluminense this sort of January. And Fluminense have been fantastic this season. Definitely watch videos on their tactics, on what their manager is doing. But in a recent derby against Flamengo, he basically showcased his versatility by starting on the right side of our midfield five. He's very versatile. You can argue he can play as a 6. You can argue he can play as an 8. He's very, very versatile. And he was really good in that game against Flamengo. You should definitely look at his SOFA score as well. But let's sort of dive into the player and why he's so good and why is exactly what United need. But he's mostly known for his ability in possession. He's got really good technical skills. He's got that low centre of gravity that gives him the ability to dribble the ball forward and is press resistant. A guy that is comfortable on the ball, comfortable under the press, has the ability to play a few passes, but he's best known for his ability in possession on the ball, being able to progress the ball, being able to pass the ball, and he is a good ball progressor as well. He's got, ouch, I just hit my arm there. He's got one of the most dribbles in the Brazilian league, and his ball carrying has sort of been a notable stat. But more importantly for United, while we need someone that can carry the ball forward, is breaking lines, his ability to break lines, his ability to break through the opposition's press. He does a lot of these diagonal passes, which is what Ten Hag has been trying to get our players to do, but we can't really execute them well. So he would really help with ball progression if he came to United, not only from carrying the ball, but his ability to break the lines with his passes, do those diagonal passes. But he's actually best known for his short passes, which we'll get into in a second. But his passing range is brilliant, short, long, and it has the ability to drop deep even. And we've seen it for I can't say the name now. We've seen it that he can sometimes drop. I wouldn't say he's a centre-back, but he sometimes drops deeps and does goal kicks for them. And he can start off that sort of the opposition's build-up is what I could say. And Ten Hag in pre-season kind of did this 3-1-6 formation with kind of Meno dropping in as that sort of centre-back. And I think Andre has the ability to do that. An interesting stat as well, he attempts 1.68 progressive carries per 90 and his total carrying distance is 295 metres per 90 with a progressive carrying distance of 175.49 metres per 90, which is in the higher end of the percentiles. If you want to kind of see what kind of percentile he's in as well, he basically ranks in the 98th percentile for passes attempted and 99% of the passes completed. So No, passes attempted, it's 97, sorry. Passes completed, 99. Pass completion, 99%. Total passing distance, 96%. Progressive passing distance, 92%. Passes completed short, 99. Passes attempted short, 99. Pass completion short, 99. We've got to skip that there. Pass completion long, 98. Passes attempted, 97. Pass completion, 99. I mean, just look how good his passing statistics are. That explains how good he is in possession. Diving more into his possession stats as well, has a lot of touches, has the ball a lot, someone that wants to get on the ball. I think we sometimes criticise McTominay for being the type of guy that wants to hide from the ball. And I would show you clips of this guy, but I don't want to get in trouble with copyright. But he can dribble his player, he can take on his player, carrying's in the 98th percentile, carrying distance in the 98th percentile, progressive carries in the 98th percentile, carries into the final third. He does stay quite defensive, but 82nd percentile is still good. He does lack a little bit out of possession, which we're going to dive into, but I think these stats can really highlight how good he has been in possession. He's also sort of best known for being a volume passer, which is key to the way Fluminense play. He has the ability to make those short passes and those quick 1-2s. And I think that's something United need even in build-up. Declan Rice does as well. Declan Rice is really good at progressing the ball and carrying the ball for Arsenal, but he does these quick 1-2 passes, these short passes and moves, and that's something that we can see Andre do. He often starts build-up in attack for Fluminense, and he attempts 76.07 passes per 90 with a completion rate of 93.2%, which shows his ability to distribute the ball very, very well. We've spoken about his carrying distance, progressing carry distance, but he makes so many passes a game, and a lot of them are those short 1-2 passes, really gets things flowing for Fluminense. And I think he would be great for United in terms of we need someone that is good in possession. Now, I'm not saying he's the finished article. He's young, he's raw. There's a lot of players that we thought were going to be good at United. They go to United, they don't make it. But if we're looking at it from a statistic and an attribute point of view, then he's got what Manchester United need in terms of someone that's really good at progressing the ball in midfield, someone that's good at passing. We need someone that's good in possession in midfield because we're avoiding the midfield and build-up, which is a big problem. And this is his statistics compared to Casemiro. He's the blue, Casemiro is the pink on the second graph. And you can see sort of passing statistics, he beats Casemiro in a lot of those as well. Obviously, defensive actions is where he's a little bit weaker than Casemiro. You can see for the most part, in possession, he's in the very high percentiles. Going forward, he doesn't go forward a lot. Casemiro is more of a threat going forward, but I don't think Ten Hag really wants that. And then defensively, he's okay, but there is room for improvement. And I think he's not someone that could play as a lone six, but he's someone that could play as a double pivot if that's what Erik Ten Hag wants to do going forward. He's kind of been compared to Frankie de Jong and sort of Bruno Guimaraes a little bit. And I'm not saying that signing Andre is going to make us all of a sudden win the league or be brilliant, because I think we need centre-backs, right-wing, strikers. There's a lot that needs to be done at United. But I think one of our biggest problems this season has been our ability to retain possession in midfield. And I think Andre is the type of guy that does that. We need a midfielder that is good on the ball. We never signed Frankie de Jong, and then we never signed a midfielder that was a similar profile to Frankie de Jong. I said we should have gone for Max and Kaka if we didn't get de Jong. We went for a very different profile in Casemiro. And I think Andre is sort of that profile, value for money, that could be one of the best out there in terms of a realistic option in January, value for money. And I think he ticks a lot of the boxes that Ten Hag will want. We will talk about him out of possession. Defensively, he's not as elite as other players, but he does cover a lot of ground. He's got athleticism that Man United particularly lack. I think while Eriksen's good on the ball, what we miss with Eriksen is out of possession, he can't cover the ground or keep up, whereas Andre can do that, which is definitely much needed. However, one thing we also struggle with out of possession is aerially, and Andre's not going to help with that due to him being 5'9". As you can see, his defensive statistics, tackles won are quite high, percentage of dribbles tackled are quite high. But we can see that he's in the lower percentile for a lot of defensive statistics, and he definitely needs to improve out of possession as well. But it's not awful statistics, considering that he's obviously playing for a team that's very heavily possession-based, and it would be better in another team. But definitely what he needs to work on there. But interestingly, Data MP compared him to a lot of people. They compared him to Tchouaméni and Moises Caicedo, and they said in terms of his ability and his statistics, he kind of mirrors these players the most. I guess he's more Caicedo-esque in a sense than Tchouaméni-esque, because Tchouaméni, I think, is a proper six and probably a little bit better defensively. But as you can see, he is the blue, Tchouaméni is the pink, Caicedo is the yellow. He kind of mirrors them to an extent, which is three players we all want to see at United, because while we need a centre-back, while we need maybe a right-back, you could argue right-wing striker, we definitely need two midfielders, and we need midfielders that, one, have the ability to cover ground out of possession, which is what Eriksen lacks, and two, are good on the ball, which is kind of what Casemiro lacks. And we never signed Frankie de Jong, and we're evading the midfield and build-up. And that brings me to my next point. I'm not saying that Andre's going to change everything, but I'm saying the profile of guy, value for money, being out there, Liverpool wants him. He could be a very good sort of long-term understudy for Casemiro. I think we'd have to bring someone in alongside him, like Anana or Palacios. We couldn't sign him and expect him to change the midfield, but we avoid the midfield when building up the ball. We've been avoiding the midfield and build up. We're always going long, and that's one of the reasons we're struggling this season. In fact, we were very good in the first 40 minutes versus Copenhagen because we simplified the midfield, went to that 4-2-3-1, and actually used the midfield and build up with quick passes, which is a system that Andre would thrive in. And that worked a lot better for us. But I think this season our main struggle is there's a big gaping hole in the midfield. We avoid it and build up. We're going long. We can't control the game. And one of the reasons we're doing that is because we don't have the players. And Ten Hag said this, he doesn't have the players in midfield. He said that his midfield is unbalanced. He can't do what he wants to do in midfield because he hasn't got those players. He hasn't got those people in possession to do what he wants to do in midfield. And Andre is the guy that can help Ten Hag play the way he wants to play as well. But similar-ish profile to De Jong, not saying that they're two alike, but we know that Ten Hag wanted De Jong, and this guy's a similar-ish profile because he would allow Ten Hag to play the way he wants to play. Ten Hag has spoken about how he hasn't got the players to quite play how he wants to yet, and now the balance in midfield is gone, and I think that's one of the reasons we're completely evading the midfield and build-up. We know that Casemiro struggles in possession, and with Martins and Shaw absent, that's sort of been highlighted because we're really struggling to build up the ball and keep control, and if we improve build-up, we're going to improve our general control of matches, which Andre could allow us to do. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not saying that we're going to sign Andre, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ten Hag wants the guy. If he's available for about £30 million, it's very doable. I think our chances of signing him depend on Ratcliffe when Ratcliffe comes in, which looks to be really soon, which could give us a massive boost. How much of a priority he's seen as the competition with Liverpool, because while we might want this guy, Liverpool are a serious club, they'll buy him. Fulham, Newcastle, whoever's in for him, they're more serious after they'll buy him. Liverpool is still the favourites, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get linked to him more and more, just because I think he's a player that ticks a lot of boxes. It's very obvious we need a midfielder, especially with the United Muppeteers coming out saying that Casemiro and Amrabat are both expected to leave in the summer. But the big question mark is, what's United's priority in January? Is it striker? Is it centre-back? Is it right wing? Are they going to go for a midfielder? There's a lot Man United need to do. There's a feeling they will spend because there's pressure about them getting top four. But I think it's one to keep an eye on. Are we being linked to him to hurry up Liverpool? Is this part of a game? How much do we want him? He's affordable. He's a good player. I'm sure Ten Hag wants him, but I think we have to wait and see nearer the time the chances of this happening. I hope you enjoy this kind of video, a little bit different to normal. Let me know your thoughts. Please do smash the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.